Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today have I got a great video for you. It's about being thankful, and being this is Thanksgiving week, I know you're going to get a lot out of it. You know, these are my favorite kinds of videos for me to make, the more philosophical, motivational type videos. I mean, I am a coach, this is what I do, and so not to be arrogant, but this is my thing, and so I love doing this. So right now I'm on the Spider. I'm heading down to Lake Miccosukee, hopefully catch it before the sun goes down. I tried to wait for that magic moment, you know, so that the sunset would be sweet. And although I'll be looking more to the east, I believe, it's still going to be very, very nice. But before we get going on this engaging conversation, if you would do me a favor, give the video a big old fat thumbs up. You know I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. I love seeing the channel grow, and I am thankful for you, I will tell you that. All right. So, you know, we're coming through Thanksgiving week, and there's a lot of my friends out there that I talk to. Some of you are subscribers, you know who you are, going through treatments, cancer treatments, going through tough times. And sometimes it can be difficult to be thankful. It can be. You know, sometimes, you know, you lose a person that you love. They pass away, or maybe your marriage was fractured. Something could have happened, and you're angry, and you're upset, and you're hurt, and you're having a hard time being thankful. I'm going to give you five things to be thankful for, and I want you to sit down, go ahead, stop the video right now, get you a cup of coffee, and either get your phone out to take some notes, or get a piece of paper. I'm not saying this out of arrogance. You're going to know these, but I just want to give you something to think about. All right. So the very first thing you need to be thankful for, and I don't think this will come as any shock to anyone, is your family. You know, family, it can be a challenge, can't they? You know, I mean, there are people in your family that you like, and honestly, there are people in your family you don't like. There are people that you don't like talking to, that don't like talking to you. It's funny, what I've discovered as the years have gone by, though, and I've always had the reputation in my family as being a peacemaker. When people had differences, I was always trying to extend an olive branch in one direction or the other to try to help them reconcile. It matters. I like to know that my family can sit together over a meal and focus on the fact that we have the same blood running through our veins, and that we can love each other in spite of our differences. Age gaps, political views, which is a big one nowadays. I think the world tries to make more of that than we really believe, the normal person. The crazies, well, they're different, you know. They just want to fight. They just want to argue. And those people, sometimes you have to figure out a way to get them to put up the pop filter and go, look, I don't want to talk about politics with you because you're going to hate me and I'm going to hate you if we do. Let's just focus on what we have in common. This beautiful family, this great meal, that sort of thing. You know, sometimes we have to make an effort. In fact, anything that's worth doing is worth doing well, or as my dad would say, it's worth doing right. There is a right way, there is a wrong way, and the wrong way is to be confrontational or argumentative with your family constantly. On Thanksgiving, just be thankful that they're in your life. You know, that person that you're angry with, or you may not even like, they're not guaranteed tomorrow, and neither are you. And you don't want anything to happen to them, and you want to spend the moments that you have. So appreciate your family. Sit down, list out the family members that you're thankful for. You may not be thankful for all of them, but you can certainly be thankful for most of them. So I'm not saying on Thanksgiving Day, just be thankful for them. I'm saying pick one person on that list every week, maybe all of them if you have the time and the proclivity. But call at least one of those people on that list a week. Build a relationship. Your job this year is to be thankful for your family and to build relationships, and especially with the ones that you have the greatest differences with. And it's okay to tell them we have to squelch our differences. If we're at an impasse, let's just be at an impasse and agree to disagree. There are so many things we can focus on that are more important than little trivial novelty items in our life that just give us a reason to fight or be angry about something. So remember, love your family. So the first thing you need to be thankful for is your family. Make that list of them people now and call them every week. Number two, this is very similar to family as far as I'm concerned, and that's friends. Friends, man, you know, your friends are great. I've got friends that are so good. Many of you are watching this video. I've made friends on this channel. Folks have called me today. I have return calls to make. I've been busy all day, but I have to return some calls this evening. You know, Friends are important. You know, and so many times we take our friends for granted. You know, I'm not talking about acquaintances. I'm not talking about people who add or subtract to your life. You can, you know, cut those people however you feel necessary. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about friends who are there through thick and thin. You know, the ones that are pallbearers at your wife's funeral or at your child's funeral. The ones who, when your wife is having a mastectomy, they bring you roast beef and gravy to the hospital and sit down and have a meal in the waiting room with you. Those guys, the ones at 2 a.m. you call them and they're there for you. They pray for you. They hold your hand when you're broken. Real friends, people that it doesn't matter if you don't talk for a year. When you do talk, it's like there was never a gap in time. It's just automatically bridged. There's way more going on there than just a musician or a motorcycle rider or just someone that you have something in common with. There's something magical about friends. Your souls become knit. It's a spiritual DNA. And so friends are absolutely vital. Write down your list. Your list may be small. It may be 2 people. Let me tell you, if you got 3 really, really good friends that you can count on in your life, you're doing well. You're doing very well. Write your friends' names down. And if you've got friends that you don't talk to very often, make it a point to call every friend you have at least once a month. That's friends, not acquaintances. That's friends. Commit to calling your friends once a month. It's very, very important. Allow those relationships to grow and be beautiful. Look at that. That is just spectacular, isn't it? Man, oh man. So number 1 is family, number 2 is friends. You've got you a nice list going. There's 2 of the F's. The third one is an F as well, as a matter of fact. I'm going to call it an F. It's actually an H. It's health. We'll just call it fitness, just so we can keep the F vibe going. But your fitness and your health, you know, that's something you don't need to take for granted. You need to be thankful for it. You know, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, I've got friends who are going through cancer treatments and they're struggling. The treatments, some of the treatments are painful. Not only are the treatments painful, then the recovery is painful. And then all of that is compiled into knowing that you have to go through this again in another 2 or 3 weeks. And you're like, man, I got this to look forward to again and again and again and again. You know, be thankful for your health. You know, there are things you can't control. There are many, many things about your health you can't control. You know, I have nervous system issues. You've heard me talk about it. I don't complain about it because, you know, complaining doesn't do any good. It's not going to make it better. But I'm thankful for what I can do. So what I want you to do is commit to your health. So this year, your health, what does that look like? That means getting out and doing something. Are you ready? Your goal is not 3 days a week, 4 days a week. Your goal is 7 days a week. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, Coach, you are a lunatic, you're a maniac, you're a psychopath. I am not going to go out and exercise 7 days a week. I didn't say that. I said you need to maintain your health 7 days a week. So what does that look like? Write down your list. Here's a few suggestions. 1, you can get a little yoga mat or just some towels and put them in the floor and stretch. Do some yoga and some stretching. You know, it'll really do you a lot of good. Your body hurts less when it's flexible, and that's a fact. So you can do that 10-15 minutes in the morning when you're drinking your coffee. You can set your coffee on a little cutting board on the arm of a chair, and you can do a few stretches and take a sip of coffee and do a few stretches and take a sip of coffee. And all of a sudden you've stretched for 10 or 15 minutes. And then in the afternoon you can do some calisthenics. It could be just a couple of mild push-ups. Do as many as you can. If you can only do 4, do 4. And if the last one is terrible form, then only do 3. Do some deep knee bends. Do some stretches, some jumping jacks. Do just basic stuff. Another suggestion, go for a walk. It doesn't have to be a long walk. I'm telling you, go for a 10-minute walk. Don't even walk fast. Just get out and enjoy your health while you can. You know how many people right now are laying on a deathbed who can't go out for a walk? You need to get up and go for a walk if you're capable of it. You know, because that health and fitness, Also, what you need to understand is that impacts your mental health. And your mental health, you need to be grateful for that health as well, because you need a lot of times it's the mind is something that if you allow yourself to fall into this pattern of dark thinking, you will be miserable in your life. You know, the number one regret that people have when asked, people that are dying, it was done by a hospice group. The number one regret was people not choosing to be happy. You know, I've fallen prey to that, where I've chosen not to be happy. So take your health seriously, take your mental health seriously, and get out and do something, because you're going to feel better when you do it. You know, I'm feeling better just knowing you're going to feel better. You know, lift while you climb. Lift your family, lift your friends, encourage them to take care of their mental and physical health. It really, really matters. This fitness of mind and fitness of body, you cannot go wrong taking care of yourself. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. You just need to do it. So 7 days a week, you can see it's very easy to do 7 days a week when you approach it like that, because you're not looking at going to the gym every day and killing yourself. I'm not talking about that. We made it, y'all. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Whenever I park here, this hill is a lot steeper than it looks. I'm going to set the parking brake and take it out of gear, and always cut my wheels to the left. That way, if it somehow did roll, it doesn't roll down the hill and into the water. All right, let's walk down here and check it out. Isn't that beautiful? You know, they used to have a dock right here. A storm came by and took it all out. See this dude right here, man? Look, he's appreciating life. Got his dog out. Hey, no, buddy. Don't want to scare his dog. So you can see that ride down here, that could have been my emotional workout for the day. You do something for your mind every day and something for your body every day, you're head and shoulders above most. Make sure you take care of your health. You matter. You matter to me, and you need to matter to you. All right, so we've got family, friends, fitness. Look at us, boy, we're doing good. Is there a fourth F? Well, there is. There is. There's food. Yes, food. You know, so many times we eat garbage because garbage tastes good sometimes. It does, doesn't it? Do you ever feel that way? It's like, man, this is good, man. It's not good for me, but it sure tastes good. Thanksgiving is great because what we do every year is we have our family gets together. Today we had honey baked ham. It was so good. And we had a big old turkey breast. And then Coach Vic made 2 pumpkin pies, and Jan brought a pecan pie, or as my rest of my family calls it, because they're not dumb like I am, a pecan pie. You know, but for me it's pecan pie. That's what I was raised up. That's what it is. So we had the pecan pie. We had that. They had the little bitty wieners, the little pig in a blanket, little bitty wieners, those little bitty, about the size of your finger. Those things are so good, man. Did that, and of course we had vegetables and salad and the stuff that's good for you, and tea and that sort of things. A typical Southern, you know, Thanksgiving meal. But the food that we have is so good. We are so blessed. So many people go to bed hungry at night. And I can tell you right now, if you're looking down and you go, my belly, I got a big old belly on me. Well, you know what? If you're laterally challenged, chances are you're overfed. So many people go to bed without food. We need to be grateful that we are overfed. You know, I often talk about, you know, gluttony and that sort of thing, and I'm guilty of it, certainly on Thanksgiving Day. But we need to indulge every now and then. I've never been one of those guys that says you eat clean all the time and you can't ever have any indulgences. Indulge. Eat the food. Eat the good food, man. Have the 5-star cup of coffee. Have that rich, you know, pastry that you really love, a baklava that you just love, man. Go have that stuff. Have a piece of pie, a piece of cake. Just don't overdo it, right? Everything in moderation. You take care of that stuff. You know, because if you enjoy food like I do, you know, what it does is it's like if you take all of the beauty of family and all of the beauty of friends and fitness, emotional and physical, and you put food on it, that's like putting lighter fluid on the charcoal. It just makes it burn quick and fast and nice. It's good, man. So food, man, food is a big one, because so much of our life revolves around food. It revolves around community, that sort of thing. Our social life, we're always getting in the food thing. You know, hey, let's go have lunch. Hey, let's meet over a meal. You want to meet up for breakfast? Let's go have a cup of coffee. It's always an indulgence of food and beverage. It really is nice. It's comforting. And again, it just makes the closeness of friends and family, just makes it all the sweeter. So when you're talking about your food, make sure, you know, write down some things that you want to have, that you love. Think of that meal that maybe something that you don't have very often. You know, maybe you live in a place like I do where lobster isn't very common here to have good lobster. It's not like if you lived in Maine. I mean, we do have lobster, but you know what I mean. So write down a lobster meal and make sure you plan, and you say, once a year I'm going to go have this meal. I love this meal and I don't get to have it except on special occasions, so I'm going to create that special occasion. You know, make it magic. You've got to create the magic in your life. If not, it's not going to be life. It's just going to be existence. Which leads me to number 5, and this is the hardest one, I think, to be thankful for, because we take it for granted. Are you ready? This one may shock you. Your life. You just need to be thankful for your life. Be grateful for the fact that you are simply alive. You know, we know so many people that have health issues, and you know, we lose family members to illnesses and accidents, and bad things happen. You know, I don't want to dwell on things that you can't change that are bad, but I do want to give it perspective. My daughter passed away, as you know, but I have another daughter. What, am I supposed to not appreciate my life with her? I have a granddaughter. Am I not supposed to appreciate my life with her? I have a son. I have a beautiful daughter-in-law. I have a beautiful, wonderful, he'll kill me if I say he's beautiful. Although he is beautiful, my son-in-law, he's beautiful, but I'll call him handsome. I have a handsome son-in-law. I need to be grateful for my life. I need to look at and you know what? If I'm not grateful for Coach Vic in my life, if I'm not grateful for my life, I can never appreciate her. And she deserves the best that I have. And your friends and your family and your colleagues and you know, everywhere you show up, whether it's at the gym or at the office or at church or wherever you go, the mall, at Costco, right? This is your opportunity to appreciate your life, and when you do, you're going to have this outflow of energy that's going to make people want to be around. They're going to crave being around you because you're so full of life. You know, I've made an effort in my life to not be the guy that walks in the room and sucks all the air out of the room, sucks all the life out of the room. You know those people. You know what I'm talking about. Heck, at one time or another, we've all been that person through tragedy or circumstance, you know, where something happened. But I'm telling you, as a general rule of thumb, you want your life, you want to love your life so much that when you walk in, the room is elevated. They're wondering what the heck happened. Why is the room better? Why is the room better? What just happened? Oh, Jim walked in, Coach Bob walked in, Coach Vic walked in, Ed walked in, you know? And they go, well, why would Ed or why would Bob be happy? You know, those guys, they're going through some hard crap in their lives. Why would they be happy? If they can do it, maybe I can. If they love their life, maybe I can love mine. Inspire others to love their life. In fact, remind them to. Tell them how beautiful their life is. Tell them that they're successful so they can love their life. Show them the beauty in their life, especially when they can't see it on their own. You have to be grateful for your life. You know, and it's easy to be grateful for successes, but we have to be grateful even in our loss. Be grateful when you lose someone that you had them. Be grateful that you know, that their spouse or their children, you still have them, and that they fashioned that person into the beautiful creature that they are, and you get a small piece of them. And then when you value your life, you can value their life, and you can take pieces of their life and you can rebuild your own. So the last thing to be thankful for is your life. Again, I want to tell you, life is hard, it's challenging, there's a lot going on. I have a beautiful friend who lost a parent this past week. I want to tell you, you know who you are if you're watching this video. Love you. I'm proud of you. You took care of your daddy. That's awesome. I'm telling you, there are wonderful people out there, and they're making other people's lives better. They're giving a piece of themselves away because they're overflowing with beauty and love. And it's by having a thankful heart. It's by having a thankful heart. So if you're thankful for your family and your friends and your fitness and your food and your life, you are going to be a force. There's another F. You're going to be a force to be reckoned with. You are going to make people's lives better. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for me. So be thankful, be kind, be loving, all of those things that we know we need to do. And when we don't feel like it, it's more important to try harder, especially when we don't feel like it. All right. Well, there you have it, another one in the books. The sun is getting low in the sky, and it's going to be shining in my eyeballs just before it drops beneath the tree line, and it's going to be blinding. It's already getting kind of that way at times when I cut through certain corners. So we're going to wrap this one up here, but I'm going to tell you, you're awesome. You're awesome. So you do me a favor. You, yes you, go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are most definitely doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I'll see you on the road real soon.